You pointed out earlier this week, I guess now looking like we should have been paying closer attention to it, COT data showed us a little bit of selling. Is that right?
Right. So becoming, I guess, significantly less bullish than they were. I believe they were either close to 80 or maybe just right underneath percentage wise. And so we saw a large decrease in longs overall. And they also picked up a good amount of shorts. So they were betting on some lessening demand this week, which I guess what we talked about this morning had to do with China cutting rates and then slow demand overall was what I read recently about the Chinese economy. Um, and yeah, it just caused a lot of downward pressure. Price broke underneath the level that I was confident in. So now that it's there, I'm not sure if I want to look for any longs at the moment. Um, I'm just, I guess, waiting for maybe even further pullback to see some kind of confirmation. Then hopefully COT will come back.
Yeah. Frank, I have another thing we didn't talk about this morning, but this is another key piece of information that came out of the Bank of England today. Did you see their inflation numbers? It came out at 8.7% compared to what they were forecasting, which was 8.4%. So possibly a big slide to the downside on gold could also be attributed to two things. Number one, of course, kind of the one that the obvious one, the Fed is still expected to raise another rate, and some of that is being priced into the market. But the other side is the Bank of England seeing higher than expected inflation. And, they were expecting to knock that number down by 0.3%. It stayed at where it was year over year, which is putting the pound or the UK very behind in terms of where it stands compared to other central banks. And do you think that has a good bit of pressure on the gold market as well, seeing those high inflation numbers out of the UK?
Um, to be honest, I'm not really sure. But it does lead to what I wanted to talk about, which was pound pairs, and
Okay.
specifically against the dollar. I know that's slightly off topic, but um, I do like GU here. I want to see it hit that trend line, and I want to hit that support zone. The pound has just been pulling back all week, and we're expecting another rate hike, which I'm pretty certain will happen. Um, there's been a slow in the economy overall, but I think they kind of have to take that risk. You know, there's fears of recession, I guess, everywhere right now, but they can't really stop, especially now that CPI is still not under control, still way too high and even moving higher. So they don't have any kind of grip on inflation right now. So they might even have to be more aggressive than a 25 basis point one on Thursday. So I'm definitely gonna be long on pound at some point this week.
What's up?
Dude, what happened to you?
Haven't you heard? It's the summer half off discount sale.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Right now only, get half off any of our VIP Discord memberships. These memberships include access to our signals, where you can get entries and exits from Frank and I, and full breakdown and analysis with each trade. You can learn our strategies in detail. You can learn how to get funded with our training material to help traders looking for funding. And you can also join the chat room community. We have several membership opportunities, so click the link and check them out for yourself. And remember, you get half off if you either message us or use the discount code you see on the screen now.
Yeah, no, and a very interesting dynamic. I mean, I would generally agree. I think that the pound, I personally really like it against the yen. I checked the score in the EDGEFINDER. It was still just underneath that buy rating. Euro yen is another one I think that is an interesting one as well. And I think I'm going to pick up some SPY today, Frank. I think I'm going to buy some S&P 500. Yesterday I sold puts on the Dow. Which I guess we could take a look at and see how that's performing. I was up yesterday, but yeah, I'm up just $14 here. I sold puts at a strike price of $335. For those of you guys who do not trade options, it is something a little bit different than we talk about regularly on the channel. But essentially, when you sell a put, you're essentially bullish on something, or at least you're bullish with the willingness to buy it at a lower price. I know that's a little bit confusing for people who aren't familiar, but essentially yesterday, I made a bullish call on the Dow Jones. I'm also looking at the SPY today as it pulls back, and I think I might pick some up here on the show actually today, Frank. On the pullback that we're seeing, I think it's aggressive because we've talked about this. I think the SPY needs a pullback. I think the Dow, the Nasdaq, all of them do need pullbacks, but they're in a lot of momentum right now. And we've talked heavily about that unwinding trade. And I think that I'm going to try and take a stab here. Yes, it seems a bit high, but I think we've had, a 1.5% pullback off the highs. We're in a lot of momentum. And, part of this is that when we talk NASDAQ, when we talk S&P, we isolated this yesterday. We saw that again I think this is going on the third week in a row, we've started to see that unwind trade persist, meaning that on the S&P 500, hedge funds, asset managers, big money, for a third week in a row has been decreasing their shorts. They were very short, and they still are, but it dropped underneath that 70% handle. We're now 69.07% on the short side in terms of institutional positioning. This is a decreasing number, and I think that is set to continue as things look like there's greener pastures ahead overall. Sure, some bumps in the road maybe along the way, but I think I might take a trade here on the S&P, Frank. So if you'd like to keep going, share some more pairs. While you do that, I'm going to just take my trade and set it up for members in the Discord, if you don't mind helping me out with that.
Right. So I guess I'll just talk about the S&P some. I'm with you to the long side because I like to follow big money, but I think right now I'd like to wait and sit until we hear stuff from Powell today. Whatever he says just causes a large amount of volatility. So we could have like a good zone here to buy, but it could obviously go lower, maybe even pick up at a steeper discount than where it is, if you want to call it a discount even. But at the same time, I could be sitting on the sidelines, you could be in this trade, and he'll say something incredibly dovish, or that's how it's interpreted, and then it'll just go crazy. So I do like the S&P in this range, dip back under 4,400, and maybe it'll keep going. I don't know, but I think I drew a line here at 43.21, which was a pretty significant level. If we scroll out to the 1 day, so last year, which was pretty significant. What used to be a supply zone turned into is now a demand zone. So if we can get something as far back as that, I think I'd be more confident in a long trade, but that would be another, I don't know how long. That would be over 1% move down. So we'll see, but I'm with you. Just, I don't know if I'm ready to go long just yet.
Yep, fair enough. And I think, I'm picking up this position now. For those of you guys who would like to see it, this is where I'm at. So I just picked up SPY. For members, I'm about to post the information about this trade. Let me make sure I just get my screenshots and everything set up here for those of you guys in the group. So again, concept is pretty simple. Breakout retest of this area. We tapped and wicked this zone yesterday. And Frank asked me if I would buy it. And I said I would probably pick it up if it came back down to fill that wick and just retest those lows. So I am in that trade. I'm sharing the analysis and everything inside of the group here right now. So Frank, I generally agree. You have the questionable Jerome Powell later on. I do think that will cause some volatility. My stop loss is a bit wide, so it's it's below a few days ago's low. So I'm feeling fine about that. Let me just put this in writing here as we get going. We'll do this together. So I just picked it up long. Overall uptrend on the 4-hour and daily as the quote unquote new bull market emerges. Stop below market structure. Overall, Fed expected to raise one more time, then expected to pause, raise rates, I should say, one more time. So I'm just doing my analysis. And for those of you guys who are within the Discord channel, we will be sharing updates on this. Of course, I like to trade with a trailing stop, meaning, you know, I'll take my trade, and Frank does this as well. We both like to take trades, and instead of putting a hard take profit on our trades, we'll like to trail stops, manage the position, sometimes close out of a loser earlier. So for those of you guys who are inside of the Discord, all of the updates will be coming to you within the, it's under my swing trades. Frank has his own. We have our different categories. I took an options trade yesterday, a position trade yesterday. Today I'm taking a swing trade. Frank, what trades are you in right now?
Currently none. Sadly, I got stopped out of pound CAD and one other, but euro pound. So I was betting on a pretty bullish pound, but I think once the CPI news came out, the initial reaction was just very heavy to the opposite side. So got stopped out of there. Still bullish pound. I'm looking for other opportunities, but maybe pound CAD wasn't the best decision. So I like pound dollar and pound yen too. So going forward, I'll be in some kind of yen, or not yen pair, but pound pair this week.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free EDGEFINDER, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.